Hi guys, this is Genevieve, plays Rise of Berk. Today is going to be a little different. I'm going to show you how to use our Rise of Berk companion tool. This was developed by some of the main users on our Discord server. This is a really cool tool to help you figure out what dragons to use for all sorts of things, as well as training times, a statue calculator, so all sorts of things. I'm going to go ahead and jump in. So first of all, this is the link that's in the description below. It will take you to this page. So in order to use the tool, you cannot use it immediately. This is a public document. You cannot edit it. You can't request access either. You need to make your own copy. So go ahead, make a copy, etc. It's pretty straightforward, but you need to make a copy of the device. Otherwise you can't edit it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and move over to the one that I made. This is mine. Matches all of my current dragons. Once you have made your own version, your first step is actually to enter all of your dragons. So there's a lot of pages here. I'm going to explain all of them. But first you just want to go to Owned Dragons. So go to Owned Dragons. Alright, I've got all of mine entered in here. You don't have to enter them in any particular order. In fact, the easiest way to enter them is just to type them in from the order of the Book of Dragons. I do need to say you can only do this on a computer. This doesn't work on a phone or a tablet. It only works on a computer of some kind. So you want your computer open and then your tablet or phone next to you, so as you're looking at the list, you can enter them on your computer. So I gotta scroll all the way to the bottom. I'm sorry guys, this is not a flex. Okay, so to enter, it's pretty simple. You can just type in a dragon. So let's say got the new Artichoke. There we go. Type it in, it auto-completes. Barf and Belches. I'm gonna scroll up to Offspring. Let's see, Hook Fangs. Mate. Okay, I just picked random dragons. So you just type it in and enter. That's pretty simple. It's a little bit of annoying, especially if you have a lot of dragons, and it can be difficult to maintain it as you go forward. Sometimes you just need to start from zero. But if you can try to maintain dragons as you go, that is the easiest way to do it. So you want to enter all of the dragons that you own. That's pretty straightforward. Then you want to go to the statistics page. There's a lot going on the statistics page. I will tell you a bit more about it later, but first is you want to pick how often you check your Rise of Berk game. So this tool is formatted, you can pick 6 hours, 12 hours, or 24 hours. So do you check your game multiple times a day? Do you check it about twice a day or once a day? You want to pick the rate that suits you, because the way that the creators have made the algorithms to rank dragons is customized based on how often you check the game, which is really cool. So do this first before you go to the main page. The third thing you need to do, so owned dragons, then you go to statistics and pick your hour range. And third, you want to enter your statues. Now, not all of you have statues yet because you kind of need to get to the level where you have that much amber production. But if you have statues, you want to enter the statues into your statue page, so that way that also goes into the ranking, because what statues you have affects your dragon rates, your gathering rates. So the tool wants to take that into consideration for how it will recommend dragons for you. So, owned dragons, statistics, and statues. Now we can get on to the main event, which is your top collectors. If you're looking for the side menu, it's that one right there, top collectors. So this page is really neat. This is the highlight. There are all sorts of cool things on here, but this is the absolute highlight and most important page in the entire sheet. And I am not even on the... Okay, here we go. So it organizes all of your dragons into your top collectors. Now, normally this has been your top 20, but they added a new feature for me to change the number of top dragons you want to look at. So I have it set at 50, but if you don't have a ton of dragons yet, and at the beginning you only have, I don't know how many gathers, you start with 3, and then 6, and then 9, it goes in 3. So if you only want to do 10, so you can focus on your top 10, you can do that. Whatever works for you. I'm not going to enter it right now, but whatever number you want, enter that there. So if you want to look at top 10, 15, 20, whatever. I need more than my top 20, so I have it set at 50. So it will show you your top 10 collectors, but it will also show you your top 10 collectors including training time, and then it will show you your top defend dragons, and then just general overall ratings. notice here that it says include statues. If I don't want my statues included for whatever reason, I can uncheck that box. And my list shifts a little bit. Now, Big Buff can't be moved off of his top spot. It's just impossible. But the rest of the list shifted a little bit. But I have a full level Ripwrecker statue, a full level Buffaloid statue, a full level Armor Ring, and Triple Strike statue. And I have a maxed out Thunderpede statue. So I check that. And the list is a little different. Color Crunch is even higher than he would be. Bargamine is even higher than she would be. Derelicker is higher. Look at these Ripwreckers that are high because of my max Ripwrecker statue. Steam Spewer is high because I have it marked for max Scaldron. I'm actually in the middle of building my Scaldron statue. So this is higher than it technically is right now. But I am maxing out that statue. And I'm not going to read everything list by list, but I have trained or am training most of my top 20, and I'm working on getting below that. Some of these are already trained, like Katilkot, because I'm a Triple Strike fangirl. Wood, I need to work on wood. I don't have all of these trained because Godie's Gronkle takes forever to train. I have not trained her yet. But you can see it has fish, wood, and iron. So then, including training time, if you don't feel like waiting 3 months for Steam Spewer to train, or if it's closer to 4 months, I forget. But dragons like Steam Spewer and Dust Brawler take forever to train. So if you don't want to wait that whole time, then you can do these shorter training dragons. There is a little bit of an overlap because some dragons have a short training time and are still really OP, but most of this list is going to be a little different and emphasize who you have that would take quicker to train. So fish, wood, and iron. And the last point on this page would be your defend dragons. Before level 100 of defend, it is really tough to get through. I don't know why it is so hard for the early level players. That's really not fair. But if you're struggling, use this tool and see who your top defend dragons are and focus on training those guys, and you should have an easier time with defend. Okay, so let's talk about iron. These rankings are really good and really helpful. I am working on training some of these guys, but you need to check what resource they're converting, for how long, and for what amount. For example, okay, Schmoozer, I love Schmoozer. I have 4 of them, only 2 of them are trained, but Schmoozer is great. Okay, Dust Brawler is Dust Brawler. He takes forever to train. I have 2 of them. I don't know if I'll train anymore because they're exhausting to train. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But Roughnut's Transmare, if I remember correctly, takes like a whole day to convert. Furnace takes 3 days. And he's not even on this list, I think. Incognito is also high, or I think it's Incognito. Or Infernier. I don't know, it's one of them. They take a week. So I'm not training a dragon that takes a week to convert iron. So how do you look at that? Good question. Let's go back to our stats page. Okay. So on our statistics page, if you slide over here, don't let the colors confuse you. The lighter colors are higher ranks in that category. Darker colors are lower ranks. That's how Jeb designed it, because Jeb is a genius. So if you go over here to Iron Collection, this is where you want to look at for deciding if you want to train a dragon in iron. So I'll just work with what I've got right here. So you can see Brute's Snap Trapper uses fish, iron collect, cost. Fish. If you're not into iron yet, the resource cost is never going to change. You'll get more iron for that cost, but it will never change. So like Rattling Smoke Breath and Smogger, they always cost 100 million. No more, no less. But by the time they're fully trained, they convert a decent amount of iron. And Dust Brawler always requires 499 million. That number doesn't change, but the number of iron they get increases as you level them up. So the stats here show at their max level. So Brute Skrill, wow. Brute Skrill is not bad. Okay. I've never trained Brute Skrill. It's maybe been on my periphery. Anyway, so Brute Skrill costs 450 million. That's pretty standard. An hour collect time, that's pretty good time. 2 hours or less is normally pretty good. And then it gets 1385 iron. But let's say, okay, Roughnut's Transmare, 250 million fish, that's a decent cost. Gets 2200 iron, but takes almost a whole day. So it just depends. Just for fun. Thawfest 10 only costs 1 wood, at her max level produces 11 iron. So if you look at that 11, you're like, dang, that's not much iron. But it only costs 1 wood, so if you're not using her for anything else, and chickens are hella quick to train, you could go ahead and use a chicken. And the other chickens have similar stats. So you can go from your top collectors and look at your iron and kind of, to make sure that you want to train that guy, go over to stats and see what it converts, for how long, and for how much. You want to check those stats before you choose an iron converter. There are some other cool things on this stat page. There is this nice little global ranking thing over here. You have their battle stats, and it will tell you what battle range they have. Battle or defend. It used to be battle. We still converted the term for some reason. Then we have these complicated stats for fish and wood collection. It shows you with or without a max statue, which is nice. Their full collect time. And then over here is a complicated chart of their training values. I don't really use this. I use this page mostly for iron. But you can have fun with this and look at it all you want. The next tool that I would recommend you looking at that is kind of in this category is the ranking tool. If you are a Discord user, our DragonBot is based on this ranking tool. So I've Catelcott here because that's the last one I was looking at. It'll show you their global ranking, 57 right there, and all the other ranks and all the other categories, as well as their max stats, their iron max, their defend roll, their total training time. We'll look at training in a moment. But you can pull up any dragon you want here. The easiest way is just to type it in. So let's see, I want to look at Mildew Strain, because that's in the rare packs right now. And wow, 17.7 million fish. That's not bad at all. That's not bad. Not at all. Fish ranking 77. So, or let's look at FS10. Because she's in the market. Okay, she doesn't do wood, and you can't use her in defend, because chickens cannot defend you against Alvin or Drago ships. Side note, we need Grimmel ships. Okay, so her global ranking is really low. But her fish ranking is pretty high, and her training ranking is pretty high, because she's really short to train. I think her global ranking's low, because she doesn't gather for very long. This is a fun tool. It's easier in the Discord bot, because you're more likely to be on Discord doing this on your phone. But know that this is where the Discord DragonBot information comes from, is all of this. So talking about training, we have 2 training tabs. One is training times. This one is really kind of hard to read. But it basically shows you total time. And this is here for the math for the other sheet I'm about to show you. So you can use this sheet, which is fine, but I don't ever use the sheet anymore. This is all Andrew's brainchild, the training stuff. So thanks to Andrew for this. Okay, so this is the training calculator. So you want to train a dragon to a specific level. So let's say you're an early player and you're wanting to figure out, let's say you have Stormcutter, a regular Stormcutter, and you're not at 150 yet. You are at, say you want to get him to level 50. Okay. Gotta put that in here. All right, it will take you 5 days and 14 hours to get them to level 50. So that's pretty cool. And so you can know how long it will take your various dragons. But let's say, okay, Catelcott and level, okay, how long will it take you Catelcott? 84 days, 7 hours, and 33 minutes. Now this is approximate because we can't know how many times it's gonna take to go through the Titan training, but it's approximately 84 days. Now let's train Steam Spewer. 106 days and 21 hours, and that doesn't even consider the Valka trainings. Okay, but let's look at an easy one. I already had Terrible Terrors up. Let's look at one of my favorites, Bloodcrest. Okay, Bloodcrest to 150 takes 3 weeks. That's awesome time if you're trying to get a quick Iron Gatherer. So that's that little calculator right there is really nice. You can also go through and enter your current level for all of these dragons, which I do not currently plan on doing. Maybe if I'm really bored one day, but you can. And if you do that and then check what box you want, so say 150, because I'm not ready to go beyond 150 yet. It will tell you how long it will take you to train all of your own dragons to that level, which right now for me, well, I don't have them entered. If I had more of them entered, it wouldn't say that. It would probably say like 2032, because I've been playing for 2 years, so it'll say 2032. Anyway, and you also would enter if you have the dragon trainer statue level, which I do. Anyway, how much time did that save me? Oh, it saved me 2 years! There we go! Go away. It saved me 2 years. That's nice to know. And it will tell you your total training time. So I'll be done by 2030, guys. Without any new dragons. So that's really neat. You can calculate for individual dragons based on a specific level, individual dragons for a desired level, and then you can look at all of your dragons to a specific level. So that's pretty neat. Okay. One of the other things we have on here is our quest sheet. So those training quests for individual dragons, you can enter them, and it's cool. Okay, so you can just enter yes for you completed it. Or you can mark it like here, I have in progress. Or if I have like a snow wraith ready at that level, this is not a training level, but say, okay, we need a grapple grounder at level 100. Oh my god, I need a grapple grounder. I have ignored these quests for a while to do other things. I can say level okay. There we go. And now I know that when I'm looking at this, I can plan ahead for what dragons I'm going to need at certain levels and do level okay. So if this was all zeroed out and you were a new player and you're anticipating these quests, then you can go ahead and do that. That's great. You can also keep track of your legendary quest. Well, watch out for my upcoming legendary guide. I'm going to totally walk you through legendaries. That's my next video after the seasonal review. The other quests aren't on here because they don't depend on training dragons. So you'll have to go to the wiki for that. And then another cool thing we have, I was so excited when this one came out, is flocks. Okay, Jeb, can you change the color? That red is kind of hard to read. This lists all of the flocks. It tells you how many dragons in each flock, how many dragons left to obtain in that flock, and how many flock packs you get. And thankfully they did increase the prices in flock packs in the latest update, so that's nice. They were really bad for a while. So then you can go over here and it will show you flocks that you only need one more dragon for and what that dragon is, and then flocks within 2 dragons. Obviously flocks within 3 dragons, that would just take up a lot of space. So it can tell you kind of which flocks to think of trying to complete either with collections or events. So I love that. You can ignore this over here. This is the data for the rest of the page. So flock calculator. That's really awesome. I only have 11 completed. That is really terrible of me. Let's go back to statues. So here are the statue page. You want to go ahead and enter your statues. We also on the statue page have the effect statues. So the seasonal statues, the legendary statues, which I have 0 of. I have the Titan Trainer statue. Okay. And so you can enter those. The reason why you'd enter that is because it tells you how much amber you need to max out all of the current statues. Which, by the way, that amount of amber, if I remember correctly, it takes something like 7 years to convert. So it's going to be a while to do all those. But you can at least know what the estimate is. And I have Shellfire maxed out. So there we go. Now I only need 17,000 amber. Okay. So you can enter your dragons, and we also have spaces here for statues that have yet to be built. Besides entering this for your top collectors, then you can go to Statue Calculator, and it will show you what statue to get next. But you have options. So this, again, this is dependent on the statistics page, how often you check your game. Then, how many dragons do you want to consider for each breed? There are dragons that are worth building a statue for if they're the only dragon you're building a statue for, like Color Crunch and Bargemine and Big Buff. I built statues just for them. Now I am training the other Ripwreckers, but building statues for a single dragon can be a good idea, but usually you want to consider a few. This is why I have Armor Wing statue for a bunch of my Armor Wings and Triple Strikes, because I'm a Triple Strike fangirl. And then you choose what resource you want to focus on or combine. And then you want to choose whether you're building for next level or max level statue. Okay, what does this mean? Next level means, well, not all of you can build max because levels 4 and 5 require iron. So if you're not that high yet, you can't build a 4 and 5 level statue. So next level might be all you can do, but it can also show you would it be advantageous to just build a level 1 statue. So I've got it set on next level right now. So for what it says, I should build a Sentinel statue. That's not a bad idea. I do use Silent Night, but I haven't trained those other 2. Threadtail, I don't have any of them trained. Singetail, I don't have any of them trained. Typhoomerang, I don't have any of these guys trained. I am really biased in who I've been training. It's really bad. Okay, let's look at Wood max level. Buffalord. Well, it already considers my max statues. It can't exclude them. It will exclude my max statues from a next level list, but it won't exclude them from a max level list. So it says Buffalord, I built that one. Triple Strike, I built that one. Threadtail, already discussed that. Armor Wing, I built that one. So that's kind of cool. It confirms some of the choices I made. If we look at Fish, Ripwrecker, I built that one. Scaldron, I'm building. Thunderpede, I built that one. Stormcutter, I don't use storm cutters besides Rainstorm. Maybe I need to build one. Whispering Death, yeah, I could build Whispering Death. I use Rushing Death, and I plan on training Gravedigger. So that gives you an idea, unless I could combine. I don't know if I've ever looked at combine. Oh, look at that! If I could like combined, it'll show me who the Buffalord will benefit on either side, who the Thunderpede will benefit on either side. Well, isn't that nice? I like that, and I feel much better about my statue choices, but now it tells me that I need to build a Stormcutter statue. So that is really cool. You can ignore the rest of the sheet. That's there for the math. So, alright, so there you have it, an overview to look at the table of contents. This is introduction, how to use. So if my talking was too confusing and you couldn't follow that, then go ahead and go to the how to use. Statistic page, that was where we looked at the iron, mostly the iron stats to hone in on the top collectors. Okay, top collectors, that's the main page, the main big daddy page. Quests for checking off your progress for the Berk quests. Statues, where you enter your statue data. Statue collector, which is this page right here. Training calculator for figuring out how much time to train an individual dragon or all of your dragons. Training times, that's mostly there for calculation. Ranking, which is the dragon bot tool. Flocks, which is self-explanatory, and then your own dragons. So that's a walkthrough of all of the pages. Alright, so this was my breakdown of our Rise of Berk companion tool. If you stuck through for this whole video, thank you so much. Just a brief overview of the history of the tool. I don't want to leave that off. It was made by Andrew B, Mind12 or Mindagi, and JebCC of our Rise of Berk Discord channel. Originally, Andrew and Mind had their own Google Sheets documents, but then at one point in time, they just decided to team up, and somehow Jeb got involved. I don't remember how that happened. I think Jeb initiated it. The design and how beautiful it is, that's all thanks to Jeb. So you can blame him. And so this is a really indispensable tool. Now we don't use any of the old sheets, we use the companion tool, and when people come into the Discord and say, oh, what should I do? Who should I train? We're like, have you tried the companion tool yet? I mean, it's pretty much our default. So we love this guy, we promote it all the time. I use this. These are my dragons. As I told you, I'm training these guys on my list, and it is super helpful in making sure that I have the best Berk that I can have for efficiency. Now, you are welcome to train whoever you want to train for whatever reasons. You do not have to train dragons just because they collect stuff. So let me repeat that. I know I don't say it enough times because I think too much about who are the best collectors. There are species I forget exist because they aren't good collectors. So don't hate me, don't at me. I just love triple strikes, okay? I'm sorry, I have almost 40 of them. Or I did. I just released some. I was running out of room. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. In the next few days, I'll be releasing my seasonal review video. And then after that is my mecha project that's going to be the most intense video editing I've ever done, because I'm going to do my legendary guide to go with my Reddit guide on how to do all of the legendaries. So be looking out for that. Thanks for watching. This is Genevieve. I love to play Rise of Berk. I'm obsessed with how to train your dragon. Stay tuned for more Rise of Berk goodness. Bye, guys.